Okay, I think we're back on, and hopefully everybody's going to get the new link to the video. Just finishing the reset up process. Okay. If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat. Okay, I think we're good. Just going to check one more thing and then we're going to get started. Okay, we've got 2 people watching now. That's good. 3. Okay, good. So it looks like the emails went through. Everybody should be getting their notice. I'm so sorry that we had to switch. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can hear me, if you could let me know in the chat. Yay, more people. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got 6 people on now. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. There is YouTube has a chat down the bottom. If you guys could introduce yourself in the chat, that'd be great. And I'm monitoring, but I'm by myself today. Usually I have a helper. So hopefully we can catch up and get going. All right. So all of those emails have been sent. Fantastic. Got my chat going. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Sorry for the delay. Good. Thanks, Deb. I was waiting for confirmation on that. I was having some issue with reverb. Normally, I use the mic off my computer, not the Viewboard. So hopefully you can hear me okay and it's not echoing. And if I'm not being loud enough, let me know. Hey, Wiley, thanks for introducing yourself. If you want, introduce yourself in chat so I can see who you are and where you're coming from and what type of Viewboard you have. I'm based out of California, so it's actually really cold here today. Cold, right? For California, cold. So we're going to get started. I'm going to turn the video off on this feed and just pay attention to the Viewboard. Actually, the Viewboard right next to me. So we're going to move over to that screen. So thank you guys for being patient and for hopping back over to this new link. All right, so we have, let's see, let me turn that off. There we go. Now you don't have to watch my back. So welcome to the Viewboard, Viewsonic Viewboard webinar for December 2018. Our goal is to talk about some of the basics of the Viewboard. We'll also talk about some of the new updates that they just made, and hopefully give you guys a good ground knowledge of the board. So as I mentioned earlier, my name is Amanda. I work for a company called EdTechTeam. We work directly with Viewsonic and do training, and we have Viewboards at some of our events. So we love partnering with them to help teachers begin to incorporate these devices into their classrooms. So welcome and introductions took a little bit longer than normal. We're going to start by talking about the basic tools, take up any questions you have, and then start to wrap up. Occasionally on these webinars, some of the participants are actually from Viewsonic. So if you have questions that I can't answer, sometimes they can answer it. And also, if there's nothing that doesn't get answered during the webinar, then I'll make sure to reach out to them and get an answer for you. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put us into full display mode. Right now, I'm in kind of like the edit mode. So if you look down here on the bottom, I've got this menu over here, the teacher with the blackboard. When I tap that, that's what kind of gives me the full screen menu. And then if I tap it again, it's going to give me my toolbars, my shelf down here at the bottom. So I'm going to keep it in full screen mode for right now, just to give me a little bit more real estate. And then if we need it, we'll pull it back up. So again, my name is Amanda, and we're going to go on to the next slide. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to break the tools down one by one. I did this last month, and it was really helpful. So hopefully you weren't here last month and it's not repetitive. If it is, maybe we can dig a little bit deeper into some of these tools, and they did make some recent updates. So you'll notice down here that I'm on slide 1. Now I want to switch to slide 2. So when I select that number 1, you're going to see that I have 3 slides or 3 boards already ready to go. I'm going to open up this second one here. So the first tool that we're going to talk about is the hand tool. So the hand tool is, and actually, what is it actually called? Sometimes if I hover over it, oh, there you go. It's called the Infinite Canvas Overview. So the hand is what controls the infinite canvas. So what I can do, I've got all this stuff on here right now. If I need more space, all I have to do is use 2 hands, just like a really big iPhone screen. And I can move the screen and make everything smaller. And now I've got more space to work. And then I can use my hands again to make everything back up to 100%. There we go. So if I get it exactly at 100. And so it kind of auto groups everything together. So a lot of people will grab the hand tool because they think it's a selector tool. It's not. It actually controls everything on the canvas that's not locked down. So for some reason you don't want it to move when you are doing infinite canvas, then you use the next tool, which is the, I call it the selection tool. It's a finger lasso, multi-finger gestures. So if, let's say, I didn't want any of these shapes to move, I could select all of them, and then I could hit the lock, the little red lock right there. And then now when I go back to infinite canvas, when I resize my table, it's going to resize everything that isn't locked. So that's step number 1 for me, was learning to use the hand appropriately. Because I would grab it thinking that it was a selector tool, and it's not. It controls the infinite canvas. It moves everything that's not locked down, or resizes everything that's not locked down. If you actually want to select items to manipulate them in any way, you've got to use the box. So I'm actually going to open these back up, and I want to unlock all of them. Let's see if I can get it to do that. There we go. Okay, so now they're all unlocked. So the tool that we actually use the most often is this tool right here. This is kind of your mouse and all the things. So up here, let's see. So we're going to call this the hand. And it controls the infinite canvas. And I need to make this a little bit bigger. Infinite canvas. And I probably need to make my pen a little bit smaller, which is actually what I'm going to do next. So you'll notice that the next one is the pen tool. And this is probably the one that is the easiest, most familiar to use because it's the most similar to using like a marker in your classroom. Let's see, I just saw something in chat. Hang on, let me pop it out so I can scroll with it. We have an IFP 6550 and our tool menu does not look like that. Matthew, let me know if your tool menu looks anything like this. It could be that you're still using, this is the My Viewboard. So if I am, let me pull this back up. When I open my software on my Viewboard, oh, from there, thank you. When I open up my software from my Viewboard, thanks for not listening to me. Window, there we go. I'm opening up the My Viewboard software. So it's not the, I think it's called 3.1. It's not the, it's the newest, not only the newest version, but the newest tool. I got the updated link and went back to the beginning. Oh, thanks, Lisa. So hopefully that helps, Matthew. Let me know. The tools the toolbar is different, but the tools are very similar as far as their function and what they do. We also have some old archived YouTube videos of the old tools, the old tool set and the old toolbar. So if you'd like to get a copy of those, I can send them to you. Okay, awesome, perfect. We'll move on then. Okay, so hand, infinite canvas, pen. All right, so the pen tool, you've got pretty basic features, right? I'm not going to go too into depth into these. I've got the pen, I've got the marker. The only difference between these two is the shape that they make. One is an oval and one is a circle. I can change the color, I can change the thickness, I can change the opacity. The highlighter automatically has a set opacity. And then this laser pen is like a temporary pen. The cool new thing that they added is this AI feature. So this AI feature allows you to start drawing something. Let's say you want to add a picture of a clock onto your board. If I start drawing, it's automatically going to use that AI, that artificial intelligence, to assume what I'm drawing. So I want a clock. So once I figure out what I want, I grab this and I drag it to my desktop and open it up. So now when I'm here, I can use my selector tool to grab that, resize it, and then I can put it somewhere. So if and this is a cool thing with the table, this is kind of skipping ahead, the table will auto size and I can actually snap the image into the table or I can pull it back out. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about images in just a second. So this tool right here is called the multifunction pen tool. So let me make that a little bit thinner, that a little bit darker. So pen, that did not make it thin enough for me. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. There we go. Multifunction pen tool. And the cool new thing with the multifunction pen tool is called the AI pen. So the AI pen, and you have to be connected to the internet for the AI pen to work. So if for some reason your board's not connected to the internet, then this feature won't work. So as soon as I start drawing something, it will guess what it is that I'm drawing. Well, it's actually a candy cane, but let's see if I scroll down, I wonder if it's there. It's obviously not a very good candy cane. Maybe it doesn't have holiday items in there yet. It's a really cool seahorse though. Okay, so it's just some different things. The next thing that you will use, which obviously I've already used several times today, is the eraser. The eraser is pretty basic. There's an eraser that I can adjust the size, big or small, and then I've got this lasso eraser. So if I want to erase something specific, I can choose to hit the lasso eraser, and then when I erase, it's only going to erase what I lassoed. So, and in writing, I totally messed up my function pen. There we go. And then this is a, there we go. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so let's talk about that. I just tried to erase my writing and it disappeared. That is because my table is not locked. And so the table assumes that the eraser was for it. And that happens sometimes when the things aren't locked or things aren't in the right order. So to prevent that from happening, and I meant to do this earlier, I'm going to hit the selector tool down here at the bottom, the box with the arrow, and I'm going to tap on my table. And then up here, I've got all of these options up here. I have all of these options that appear. The one that I want to use to prevent myself from accidentally erasing something is the lock. So when I lock it, now when I go to erase that text, it's not going to erase my table by accident. So that's something that I meant to do a little bit earlier. Feeling slightly frazzled from our technical difficulty. Multi-function eraser. And this is like the third time I've accidentally erased this word, so we're just going to rewrite the whole thing. Multi-function pen. New AI. Okay, I really like the new AI pen. I think it's super fun. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to erase these random lines so they don't confuse anybody. There we go. The next thing that we're going to do is talk about the text tool. The text tool is this T over here, and there's two different things that you can do with the text tool. There's regular text box. So when it's the regular T, when I tap on the screen, it's going to insert a text box. I can write text tool. I need to figure out, I need to ask somebody at Viewsonic if this is something that I'm doing wrong. There we go. Text tool. And then from here, I can highlight. You know, when you do one thing wrong and then everything goes wrong, that's fine. It's just one of those days. Text tool. Okay. All right. There we go. I can do this. Ah, there. I finally highlighted. All right. I wanted to change the font. Let's see. What font do I want? I like that font. It's not the font that I picked. There we go. And I want to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Change the size of it. And okay, that's better. So now I'm going to hit the X. And now I'm going to hit the selection tool, get rid of my keyboard, and I'm going to drag and drop this into this box. Okay. Now I want to show you the select to, I'm going to use the text to script to text tool. So when I tap the T again, it turns into this script A with a red box around it. So this is called, it's a converting tool, basically. It's converting handwriting strokes to text. So what I do is I start writing, convert script to text. text. Okay, and I've never done it like this with 2 lines, so we're going to see how this works out. So once I'm all done writing, to make it convert to text, over here on the side, underneath where the 2 images of the text box are, there's the A to the A. I should have drawn a little arrow there for you guys to see that. I'm afraid if I get off of it, it'll go away. So I'm going to tap it, and then I'll do it again a second time. Okay, so now that I've done that, here is my box. And now I can double tap it, and then I can, there we go. I can change the size, move it around. I noticed one of the questions is, what am I using to capture my board? There is a special cast option. I can actually use the Viewboard software to cast my screen to another computer or to another Viewboard. I'm actually just using the screen share feature on Google Hangouts, which is what is running this YouTube live video in the background. So we have 2 accounts. I have my personal account, and then I have our Viewsonic training account. So I log into Chrome on the Viewboard in the Hangout, and then I'm sharing my screen that way. But I could totally use the embedded Viewboard feature as well. I found that this, with the translating to YouTube, gives me a little bit more of a crisp image. So I can change the size of this, something that's going to fit a little bit better. All right, that's better. Okay, and then I can move it down to live underneath that. Perfect. So let me show you one more time in case you didn't see it. The button is going to pop up right here. So when I'm on the text, script to text tool, let's see, can we rewrite? Infinite canvas. It's a Tuesday, you guys. It kind of feels like a Monday. Okay, so after I'm done writing, I'm going to tap the button that I circled over here, and then it should convert it into a Word. And it's pretty good about what it can see. Now, if I actually want to move it, I have to go back to this selection tool. That is the easiest way that I have found. So once I'm here, I can make it smaller. Actually, I just want to keep it like that. I like it there. But I am going to, so I could either change the font size, or if I tap out of the edit mode and I just select the box, so I can select the box, or if I double tap, it gives me editing rights. So if I just tap it, I can resize it right from there, just like it would resize an image. And then we can use our eraser, get rid of my scribble from earlier, and move this up here. So that's how you do the script to text feature. All right, any questions so far? You guys are doing really good about popping into the chat and asking questions. I'm going to move on to the next set of tools that we have. This slide right here. So first, before we go on to this slide, I'm going to show you how I made this table. So if you'll notice on this screen right here, I've got my 3 slides, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. At the very top of 2 of 3, you'll see I've got the little blue page with the X, and then I have the double blue page. So if I hit the double blue page, it's going to duplicate that current slide. If I want to create a brand new blank canvas, then all I have to do is tap the blue page with the plus sign, and that'll give me a nice empty page. So the tool that we're going to talk about next is the multifunction tool, or the shape tool down here. So the shape tool has a whole bunch of features inside of it. I can do any one of these polygon shapes. I can do connectors and line maps, and I am almost positive, so I'm going to say it and then I'm not going to be able to do it right. I'm almost positive that you can even create links between these things. That's what these are right here. So if I link this shape, or do I have to have 2 shapes? Maybe. Let's try that. Duplicate. So I just duplicated that image, or that shape that I made. So when I select on it, you've got all of these tools right here. Most of them I feel like are self-explanatory. I can change the color. I can, I think this is the line of the color. Yeah, the line of the color. I can mirror image it. I can do all sorts of things. But what I did is I hit the copy, so the double page next to the scissors. And then to paste it right here, this is my paste from clipboard button. It's always on your screen. So then I would tap that button and then it would paste what I copied. So now let's go back to the multi-shape line tool, I'm on the second tab, which is the connectors. So when I tap the connectors, theoretically, should be able to connect these two shapes. And then when I'm moving the shapes around the board, it automatically connects them like that. So that's pretty cool. Are the slides limited to this side or can the page be extended? So JC, that's something that I think we covered earlier. It's called infinite canvas. So let's say I need, I've already done all this work, but now I need it to be smaller so I can move on to the next thing. So what I would use is the hand tool. The hand tool is right here, and it actually controls the infinite canvas. So when I select the hand tool, and I use two hands, which is funny because it's a hand tool, I have to use two hands to do it. Use two hands, I can make everything smaller, and now I have more space to work on things. If there's something on the screen that, can you extend the page without making everything smaller? No, I don't think so. I think you would just have to make a new page or work smaller, I think if I understand your question correctly, because I already have my screen completely maximized on my viewboard. And I don't know, I mean, you guys can't see this, right? Because let me show you. Okay, so I'm in an office with my viewboard. This is the viewboard behind me. It's really large. So everything I'm drawing is really big because I know that your screens are smaller. So I don't know either if I'm not fully understanding your question or if I'm not giving you the right answer, but I will double check and see. Maybe I'm just missing something. It's possible. But no, I don't think you would just add new pages, I guess. There we go. That's close enough. Okay. Let's see. Lines. Okay, what else do we have in here? You've got shapes, and then this is also where I got my table. So when I have my table, I can choose how many rows, how many columns, and then it automatically builds it for me. And then once it's here and I select it, I can make it bigger or smaller. I can individually adjust rows and columns. What I love about this the most, though, is it has an automatic resizer in it. So if I want to utilize that nifty AI tool that we saw earlier, AI tool, get rid of that. Let's see, what do I want to draw? Okay, I drew a tree. Oh, good, gave me a nice tree. So I'm going to drag and drop this onto my canvas, X. From here, I can select this. Let's see how much I can. Oh, it colors the whole thing. I wonder, well, I'm not going to sit here and play with it, but I could play with this and coloring it and doing different things with it all day. So keep on tapping it by accident. I can pull from all four corners. I can make it super skinny. I think this is new. You used to just be able to pull from the four corners to make it proportionally smaller or bigger. Now you can really, so now it's a broccoli, now it's a tree. So you kind of have a little bit more flexibility with it that way. So now that I want it to be this size, if I want to stick it in my grid, you guys see that? How the cell turns red? It's going to pop it into that square. It's going to snap it into that table. So it stays there. It'll do the same thing with text. So if I draw the word tree and then I convert it, it accidentally gave me an extra word in there. Okay. Thank you. All right, then I can take this and I should be able to pop it into there, right? There we go. So now I've popped in there. So remember earlier when my writing wasn't a part of the table, that's because it wasn't in a text box. So had I put it in a text box, it would have snapped in there. And then now when I move the whole table, it all moves together. So I really like, and then it operates as one, what's it called? As one object or one item. Move this guy over here. That guy. There we go. Okay. I can also go in here and change the individual cell. I believe of each one, I think. Nope, the whole thing. Pretty sure you can do an individual cell. I might be wrong there. I'll look into that and see. So that's that basic tool. Let me go back to our board and see what did I miss. I feel like I skipped something. Let's see. I already locked this one. So the shape and line tool. Oh, so close. And line tool. Make that a little bit smaller. And then we're going to, oh, it's not popping in there because it's locked. So I've got to unlock the table first. And then it should pop in there. Let's see. Ah, stop. Go away. What am I doing wrong? I don't know. Well, anyways, it should pop in there. I'm probably doing something wrong. That's fine. Okay, shape and line tool. We talked about this tool over here. This is the paste to clipboard tool. Paste from clipboard. This is the grab it tool, the select everything. This is your bread and butter right here. This is your best tool in the whole thing. Selector, lasso. It's the grabber of everything. And I'm really struggling to spell today. Lock, erase. Selector. Okay. The other one we have is, and these kind of go together. Wow, that's the wrong one. There we go. We have this file, and then we have I think they call it the magic box, if I remember correctly. So if I go down here, the file, this is how to save, get a new Viewboard, save as, open. So to get started for this Viewboard presentation, I pulled up last month's my Viewboard file, and I worked on it from there. So if I wanted to save on top of what I've already started, I would tap the floppy disk, which is funny because we don't actually use floppy disk anymore, or at least I don't. Or if I wanted to open up a different one from before, then I would click the file with the viewboard inside of it. And then because I already have my account set up, it's automatically attached to my Google Drive. And then I also have the slot PC on my device. So just depending on how your setup is, you could also link to Dropbox and let's see, all the things that you can connect with are up here. So you can link to Dropbox, Box, OneDrive, Zoom, GoToWebinar. You've got all of these different options. We have a G Suite for EDU domain, so that's where all of my stuff lives. So if I want to open up a new file, then I would go to Drive, and then here are my Viewboard files. So I've got a couple different ones that I've worked on. This is really cool because you could create something to use every day in your classroom and then just make fresh copies of it, share it with colleagues, whatever. And then you've got some other things. You can throw backgrounds in here. You can create custom shape pins, backgrounds, media, canvas. So lots of really cool ways that you can customize the Viewboard just for you. We don't really talk about those since this is supposed to be a beginner Viewboard presentation. The last thing that I want to talk about from the basic tools from this screen before I get any questions from you guys is this right here. This is the in Viewboard Chrome browser. So when I select this down here on the bottom left-hand corner, it's actually going to open up a web page. So I could minimize my screen because this is a slot PC. I could do this. I could open up Chrome. I could go, scan the web that way. But I like that I don't even have to leave the Viewboard. It's all right here. So when I open this up, I have a full access to the internet. The new thing that they just started doing is you can take a video. Let's see if I can find a video that's not weird. We may just have to search for something. Keyboard. There we go. Let's do Mozart's always safe, right? You would think. Okay. So once we have what we're looking for, we can grab this video and then I can drag it onto my Viewboard. So from this search screen, I just tapped the video itself. So not the description, because that didn't work. Go away. I tapped the video itself, and then I drag it onto my canvas. Of course, it didn't work that time. There we go. And then it's going to drop it down there. And now I have this widget of this YouTube video. So if I'm building an interactive activity, oh, it actually popped it into the table. Nice. If I'm building this interactive Viewboard for my students to work from, I can include these little widgets from online places. I also heard today that if you copy and paste the link from a YouTube video directly into the Viewboard, that it'll automatically make a widget. I have not tried that yet, but I can. So let's see if I can replicate that really quickly. Let's tap the keyboard again, and let's do Lindsay Sterling. It's another fun in-class music thing to listen to. Lindsay Sterling's really good. Okay, so I'm gonna mute that real quick. Okay, so I just want the link, and I'm kind of going about this like the long way. If I was using the Viewboard as a very large screen and I was using my mouse, it'd be a little bit faster to get the link this way. But I want to see if this works. So we're going to copy. Okay, link has been copied. Let's see if I can paste it. Oh, there you go. It worked. That's cool, right? Did you guys see how I did that? So if I have a YouTube video linked on my clipboard and I paste it onto the screen, it automatically makes this really cool little widget thing that then can be played. So I love incorporating video into my lessons. It's really, oh, you know what? This is not the widget. This is just an image. Huh. So they must have changed it, or maybe I did it wrong. That's highly possible. So this is actually just an image. It's not the widget. But maybe they changed it. I'll have to double check. Sorry, you guys. Every time I open up my Viewboard, there's more updates and changes, which is great. We love that about Viewsonic and their constant dedication to making these tools versatile and helpful in the classroom. So the last thing that I want to talk about really quick before I take your questions and we wrap up for the day is this tool right here. So one of my favorite things about the Viewboard is it has a screenshot tool. That's actually how I made all of these images right here. I just did tiny little screenshots of everything. So for example, I did this and I did the little box. See how it grays out everything. And then I just highlighted the thing that I wanted to take a screenshot of. And then it placed it over here. And then from there, I just made it bigger. So this is the button that you press to make the toolbars go away and for it to be more full screen. And then if you want it to go back, then you press this button right here. Let's see. You can also move that toolbar up here if you don't want it down there at the bottom. The very, very, very last thing is if I've got a new page and I want to change the background. Over here in the bottom left-hand corner is an arrow. If a little landscape, a little mountain. If I select that, I can change the default background of my canvas. I can choose a color. I can choose some preset canvases. If I want to make something specific, I can drop it in the canvas folder of my Viewboard, the folders that Viewboard makes for me in my Google Drive. I also have anything saved onto my PC, or I can add custom backgrounds that way. So pull something from somewhere else. So I've got this timeline one that I've had in here for a while. I can apply to all pages or just this page. We have so many great graphic organizers and things that we already have images for. So instead of recreating them, I can just add their image on here. And now I can use all of the built-in pen tools that the Viewsonic comes with. So letter. Ooh, let's see. My kids are learning about American history for the first time, so they always have really fun questions for me. Like, Mommy, did you know that George Washington was our first president? Yes, I did. Like, sometimes I forget that they don't realize that Mommy went to school for a really long time. So 1776, and then go from there. And then when you're all done, I have, again, this screenshot feature. Instead of screenshotting a small thing, I can screenshot the whole page. And then I can either save that image somewhere else, or I can use it somewhere else. And then let's say a student did a problem and now we want to annotate and talk about, revisions or things like that. You've got a lot of different options with the screenshot feature. And then I can also video record. So I can record myself just using the Viewboard software. I can also insert, where is it? I think it's under the magic box. Yes. So under the magic box, you've got all these different options. I can bring in interactive whiteboard files. I can bring in .notebook files, music videos, images, all of that. I've got some really cool tools that we don't even cover, Post-it notes, but I also have access to a webcam. And my webcam is actually mounted on the top of my screen. Hi. And so I can turn that on. If I was working with a student that was off-site, not only could I have my Viewboard being recorded, but I can also have myself being recorded. So kind of adding that extra layer. So to record, I would just tap that big play button right there. And even on here, I can annotate what I see. So if they're watching something over here, I mean, so many different ways that you could utilize this, knowing that the tools are available. Oh, look, and I can turn it upside down. That's trippy. Okay, close that. Thank you. Okay, so any questions before we say goodbye? We made it to 4 o'clock without any other additional crazy technical issues. You guys have been so patient. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me see. I'm looking at my, let me see. JC, I will look into pages being extended. I'm probably just not understanding that correctly. Let's see. BA. Okay, nope, I don't see any other questions. If you guys, I'm going to give it just a couple seconds because I know that there's a little bit of a delay between what I'm saying and what you're hearing. Thanks to the YouTube world. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. Again, I'm so sorry. JC, you said you could bring it up. Yes. You know, that is a great question, JC. I'm actually not super familiar with Smartboard or their notebook files. That wasn't a part of technology that I ever got to have in the classroom. The few times that I've tried to work with Smartboard files have not been successful for me. It uses extended pages that are very different sizes. I know that they just increased the compatibility between Viewboard and Smartboard. If you want, send me, I'm going to put my email over here on the screen. Send me an email. My email address is, I have to use the pen, is my name, Amanda, at EdTechTeam.com. It'll also be the email address that the follow-up email from this webinar comes. It'll probably come either today or tomorrow. If you email me those very same questions, I will make sure that I forward them on to Blake, who's one of the education specialists at Viewsonic, because I know they've been adjusting that and trying to make that conversion easier, because some files convert really well and some files don't convert really well. So I will look and see. I know there's a lot more complicated layering and things you can do with the Viewboard. I just mainly focus on the simple basic stuff. So we'll look into that for you. Any other questions? You're welcome. May I ask? Yeah, we talked about that, the Viewboard. If you want, now that we're kind of getting to the end, I only have 6 viewers left. You can kind of see what I have going here. Not that. Go away. There we go. So over here, my screen. I think my internet is getting tired. So I have the 2 videos going at the same time. So I'm screen sharing using this feature. So when I tap on this, I can where can I stop it? There we go. I can stop screen sharing, and then it's just going to pull that camera image. So that's how I use the Viewboard and see, look, now you can see me because it's tapping into that camera up there. So that's how I use Hangouts. So I share, so I've got the 2 different accounts and then I share. That's how it works. And you guys can see my little space with my drink and my almonds. So anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Again, if you have any other questions, you can email me. I'm going to type my email address in the chat at edtechteam.com. Feel free to reach out and we'll help you as best we can. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.